Hello and welcome back to Superpower Saturday. I am Madeline Berry, your host, and we are going through chapter by chapter, my book, Born to be Super, Unleash Your Inner Superpower. If you don't have a copy, I welcome you to go and get one, and we'll be covering each chapter, one per Saturday, and we're currently on chapter 2. So we went through chapter 1 last week, and I felt like it was a good chapter to go through with you. This week, I will do something similar to last week, talk through slides, popping in and out, just kind of explaining what I'm talking about, what I wrote about, how I was inspired, things like that. And so this week we're talking about what is your it's not the question, your superpower ID. And we're talking about how to identify what your superpower is. We're going to go back in time, remembering things. So your book has journal spaces. You can go through it, write some notes down as we ask questions and go through some scenarios of in the past and how we thought about things and where we are today with those things. Are we still excited about seeing a future version of yourself in not super clothes, but like acting as a superhero with just natural traits that you were born with? So we're going to get started with Superpower ID, and I hope you enjoy it. Please, 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 please write your notes in the comments, or write notes that you would like me to read in the comments. Like it, share it, and follow. We as in the corporate we, that is all the people behind me. So all the people who are on the ride with us, we're all coming together, and we're going to review this chapter. I'm excited for you because there's nothing like discovering something that you've always known about, and hopping on the ride with other people who are in that same mode of discovering, asking yourself questions, going through scenarios of things you've done long ago, and realize that you still have those abilities, and coming back into that phase where you never lost it. It was there the whole time, and you might have used it or are using it in scarcity mode, in terms of like it's running but not on full power at your job or wherever else you might be employing those things. But you're stepping back in now and realizing that now is the time for those to kick in and for you to turn those around, facing the public and engaging them. So let's get started with your superpower, how you're identifying it. Okay, let's go. So let's get started. I'll start reading chapter 2. And it says, identifying your superpower requires honesty, introspection, and the help of candid people in your circle of friends, family, co-workers, and community. It's likely that you already know what your superpower is. It may be buried under years of repetitious routines you did to make ends meet. It could be waiting for you at a place you once used as a personal retreat from the noise of your life. It could be connected to a hobby you started doing to relax at the end of a long week. The point I'm making here is that you've probably been exercising your superpower your whole life, and because it's a part of your nature, you haven't recognized it as something viable that makes you super or gives you a platform for a career. Have you ever thought about that? Like, maybe I don't have one. Maybe when she says I have a superpower, I'm one of the ones that doesn't. Well, guess what? You're one of all of us who also have something, because God made sure there's something about you that's so special and so powerful that when people look at you who say, I would like to be able to do that, you just say, wow, I didn't think it was special. I've been doing this my whole life. And they look at you like, how in the world are you only doing your job? Like, you could do so much more with what you can do naturally. And they're paying you to learn how to do something else. How do you feel? Like, do you feel like, you're I don't know, working below your capacity? I wish I could do that. I used to say that about, I do so much stuff. I kind of like tire myself out when I think about stuff. But there's some things that I wish I could do, like drawing freehand, drawing myself. The whole idea of just, having a pad of paper and a pencil and sketching something out that looks exactly like what you were staring at and drawing. That right there, to me, I'm like, get out of my face. But I understand that with the load of things I've been given, I can't really complain, because I'm highly blessed and favored with the things that God has given me. And I take time to acknowledge it, and I thank Him for it. Thank you for the ability. Thank you for the ability to learn something more or different. It's interesting to know. I like it. I like to share it with other people, make things for people, just being creative. And so this is where we are right now. This is you thinking through your life and going back to early days, or back to days in the past where you were growing and developing yourself, not necessarily to think about what superpower you had, but just to do things that you could just do naturally. And that's what we're talking about this week. And it's going to be fun. So get your creativity hats on. If you don't have one, go make one. Be creative. So let's go on to the next slide here. Here we go. So I talked about Mike Murdoch. He's a very prolific writer, man of God, and he has several laws of things that he recognizes and shares with others. And one distinct law is called the law of recognition. And it basically says, in essence, everything you need in your life is somewhere in your life right now, currently. And so there were examples given in that book, The Law of Recognition. And he basically kind of walked through some things. And so I believe the law of recognition. I believe that everything I need is somewhere around me, simply waiting for me to recognize it. And when I do, I will know exactly what to do with it, how to apply what it is I'm desiring to do, and then coming into a place where literally everything I needed was somewhere around me, and all I needed to do was simply pay attention, think through or catalog what kind of things I needed, and then identify where that is in my life, and then go and get it. then apply it to whatever the situation is, and I'm off and running to the next thing. So according to this slide, the law of recognition, you aren't creating a superpower today. You're recognizing what is already there. So you have it. I'm telling you, it's in your life. It's on you somewhere, in you to do, because you've been doing it your whole life. Simply, whenever you felt like it was the right thing to do, to occupy your time, or to just see how we can use it today. Some people are natural born cooks. They I can't say come out the womb with a hand mitten on, but they are natural cooks. They hang around their mom or grandmom or somebody in the kitchen who does really, really good meals. And for my family, everybody can do what they need to do to eat. But there's some dishes that some of my family members make exactly like my mom would make it. And, we taste it and look around the room and say, wait, you did this? This is incredible. It tastes almost exactly like mom's. And so that's awesome. And then when they had kids, they had one of them who was, hang around them and get the recipe to pass it down and keep going. And so that's like one of those natural born things that you don't necessarily know you desire to do, but when you do it, everybody makes a big fuss about it. Not fuss as in angry, but fuss as in you got to make this next time, right? So that's an example of how a superpower could possibly be handed down from one generation to the next. Something that's in the family. Got it? So the slide also says everything we could ever need for life and godliness has already been given to us, as it says in 2 Peter 1 and 3. And so keep that thought and that verse, like write it down somewhere where you can always go to it, because you might be looking for something one day. And God has already given us everything we need for life and godliness. And so a simple question would be, I'm looking for this, Lord. You said, the Bible says you already gave me everything I need for life and godliness. So I need to know where to find it. Would you impress me? Give me an impression or a thought in my heart, somewhere to go and look. It's almost like, where are my keys? I say that, all the time. It's like, wait, what did I do with my keys? Holy Spirit, they're not where they're normally, but they're somewhere in the house because I drove home. So where are my keys? And so I would think and just stay still. I wouldn't go around looking like a crazy person. But I would go and look around the house, and I would hear, look in your jacket pocket. You just hung up your jacket. And I would go to my closet, look in the closet, find my jacket, shake it, hear the keys jangling, and I'm like, man, they're right there. And so everything you need is around you. That's the message. And so there's a hidden spark, and then there's a brilliant flame. So the goal of today's excavation is to bypass the noise and recognize the innate traits you have been exercising in your whole life. The answers are already in your life, waiting to be recognized. I love the law of recognition. If you get a chance, I'm going to find the link and make sure I put it in the show notes. So maybe when you have some time, you can pick it up on online, Amazon, Audible, however. I'm not sure how many versions there are of it out in the world, but pick up one of them, Mike Murdoch, and check out that book. It's incredible. All right. So I kind of started with like kid stuff. And I was trying to think back to when I was a young girl, and I would sit and watch cartoons. I told you guys last week about sitting at the TV, getting a bowl of cereal on Saturdays, and just watching, superheroes, being trained by cartoons, how to be a superhero. And so this stage is kid stuff. And it says, youthful expectation is something we are all born with. As a child, your heart is pure, full of hope, and highly observant. You watch people. If you have young children, they will watch you, and they will begin to do what you do. I've seen little kids, like if it's a girl, she watches her mommy. She'll try to put on those same shoes and walk in their shoes. Some of them are high heels. Some of them are regular sneakers or something. And then the little boys are following their daddies around, copying them, doing what they're doing, walking the way in their mind they're observing their father walking. And so this is something, as a child, you just expect, like if there's a promise connected to something that you connected to them, and you say, if you're a good boy or good girl, we have a good year. At the end of the year, we're going to Disney World. They'll never let you forget it. You are going to Disney World. And the closer the time gets to, I'm being a good girl or I'm being a good boy in school, and they'll start bragging to their teacher and their classmates where they're going because they've been good. And so this is how we can act based on God's promises. We have a right to act as youthful, expectant children of God. And so when it's time to release your superpower, having done all that you've been instructed to do in the Word, there's a promise connected to it. This is your superpower, and you're going to learn how to use it today. We're going to get to unleash it. We're going to show you how to walk it out one step at a time, and you're going to learn how to use it for good, not evil, and we're going to practice it. Okay? So the questions connected to this part are one, who was your childhood hero? Who was it that did the things that you were like, whoa, that's incredible. I love it when they do that. Or what specific traits captivated you? How do you do that? I'd like to watch it. I'd like to watch you do this. Just like learning how to cook. It's like, okay, mommy said don't touch the oven because it's hot. Don't touch the oven because it's hot, okay? Follow instructions and watch how she does it. And then she'll get with you and let you help. You want to crack the egg this time? Yeah. Boom, I cracked the egg, whoa. And so when the meal is done, or the dish that you're working on is done, you've cracked an egg. You have helped her stir it up. She's given you the spoon to lick the rest of the batter, and it's delicious, and your face is all, battered up now. It's a wonderful experience of learning something with a parent. God is with us every day, and he wants to teach us how to use. Once we find it and locate it, we want how to use it and how to make sure we understand what the power of it is. And so then the last question on this one is, are the traits that we talked about it in the last question, are those traits on display in your life today? Like, are you still doing something that is connected to what you've always wanted to do, or that is connected to your superpower? Are you still activating those actions? How are you doing that? How are you implementing them? Okay, so lots of questions I'm asking in this book simply because I want you to think back and remember. It's a powerful trait. And when you can engage somebody who was there with you, then you have a witness to say, hey, Mom, remember when I did this, this, and this? And she'll say, yeah, I remember, because I saved some of your schoolwork from, when you were a kid, and this is how you did it. And yes, I helped, but this was your idea, and, all these things. And so remembrance is a superpower, and it can help you take yourself back and put yourself in a spot where you used to desire to learn more. And now ask the question to yourself, do I know more? Did I get the learning, understanding, and knowledge that comes with practicing and increasing knowledge about this gift that I have? Do I know anyone who is functioning in those gifts today? Ask yourself questions like that. So then we jump from kid stuff to school days. And so the note about this is like when you were in school. I think it's hilarious to watch people like who are have special gifts that stand out throughout your whole life, and sometimes you got in trouble for it when you were at school. You might be a class clown, and you'll grow up to be a comedian. You might be a beauty queen who grows up to be a top model. And all types of things. Like you might be an athlete. Remember I talked about the little baby who was shooting the hoop at age maybe 2 or 3, sitting on the couch. He was just throwing the ball one by one, and it was nothing but net most of the times. So the first thing was the affinity. What was your favorite subject? Is your current living connected to it? So maybe you loved math, and you still love math to the point where you do your own taxes, you do other people's taxes, you're a certified public accountant. You could be working at a bank manager. You could be connected to crypto or some other type of math connection, and you just naturally are drawn to things that help you and help others with math. And so that could be it. What's your superlative? So whenever you were in high school, you're about to graduate, they typically do the superlatives for the whole class. Who's most likely to get married and have a bunch of kids? Fastest, it's like right out of college, right out of high school. Someone who's been a couple for 3 of the 4 years of high school, and they are like always together. You can think of them, you get one, you get the other, that type thing. You could say who is most likely in their future to be an entrepreneur because of their mind, the way they think, how their favorite things are connected to like business-minded things. And then like what did you constantly get in trouble for? That's probably your superpower because you just did it. You weren't necessarily thinking about doing it right at the spot when your teacher was going to call on you. But in your head, you already had a fast answer for them when they called on you. And so you're a class clown. Everybody ends up laughing, even the teacher, right? So you might get in trouble for it, for, kind of like disrupting the class. But everybody already understands that you're an entertainer. And so that's probably, it's probably what you'll do when you leave school. When you go to your next level of school, you'll find your way to Broadway. You will do plays. You will ask for roles in commercials. You will do things that allow you to express yourself. And your superpower is one of the ways of expressing yourself. So look for patterns in how you were growing up, and think about things that you do when you get around people you're comfortable with. Are you the one that everybody is listening to at the party? Telling jokes, or remembering or reminding people of things that happen and have everybody laughing. I know people who are so funny, and it makes me mad that they're so funny and they don't use it for anything. I'm like, you could write your own plays and do that thing like other people have in the world, and it would be amazing. And so that's awesome. The next one is university. The university of what's next. Some people don't go to college. Some people would rather not go to college. Some people get in financial situations that don't allow them. They may have to help their family. They might be from another country and they were sent to America to go to college, to come right back home, and whatever they studied, they get to implement when they get back home to help grow their community. And that's amazing. I love that. There are also people who like to take time before they go to college, take trips to see the world, to determine or gain a worldview from having lived in America their whole lives. They take an opportunity, get a passport, and let their parents take them on a world trip, or choose to go themselves somewhere different to learn the ways of the world. Some people go on abroad to study, and they get immersed in a new language, learn new ways of doing things, just broaden their view of the world, how people live, and eventually how everybody is literally the same person. Everybody's the same. They may have different actions or ways to get about and communicate with people. But if you look at them compared to yourself, you would say, oh, wow, we're like the same person. Because we like things and we like to see the differences in ourselves. So I need to speed up. Sorry. And so the next thing we'll go through is adulting. Ooh. We still reject that sometimes, huh? I know sometimes I'm going like, oh boy, adulting is not nearly as fun as I thought it would be. But here we are. So then there's the hamster wheel. People settling for something that just pays the bills, takes care of the kids, makes life understandable, and becomes monotonous. So like this one says, it says, the hamster wheel, settling for something that pays the bills, an educational journey without a clear purpose. Then you have the clue, the joy of being super. Then you have the side hustle, working a full-time job to fund a deeply held belief in yourself, honing abilities after hour. This is where you're practicing your superpower, and you're paying to have enough resources to put in yourself, because you're betting on yourself being the one who can get out of that job the fastest, right? I don't need to do this anymore because my side gig is now at the same level as my paycheck. And I'm just gonna stay out here on this side gig for a little while longer until I am able to either double, triple, or, you know, however many times what my regular job was paying me, as just my full-time job is now my full-time gig. And so that's how you develop your superpower, to be able to pay for everything that you're working on. That's awesome. So it says, a tragedy is spending years chasing a degree or title you don't enjoy. Ugh. Leaving your true power buried under the routine of making ends meet. That sounds very sad. I think if you can find what it is, if it's in your mind right now not big enough to take you off of your job, it's still good to practice it, because you do it from a place of joy. And when you're in joy, you're not really working. You can stay up all nights working on something, all night working on like carving out something in your garage, building furniture, doing something like that. And so we just keep going. So then the School Without Walls, life is a data collection machine. Your innate, well, we'll start on the outside. It says societal expectations and adult routines. To find the core, we must peel back the concepts, options, opinions, and ideas about yourself, what you blindly agreed with, right? Okay, in the center, the yellow says external voices, your parents, teachers, bosses, and significant others. And those things are like you initiate them, but you are attending the voices that have influenced what you're doing. So a couple of them might agree with you and say, that's a great thing for you. I've seen you do that. You're incredible. Or you have people who are not in agreement with you going the route you're taking, that you've learned how to do. It's not an innate gift. You've learned this, and so you can do it, and so you can make money with it. But it's not what you love. It doesn't give you joy. So you do it, but not with joy. The key is, joy is what is produced when you start exercising your gift, because it's not hard. It's just what you do. It's not this hard thing that you've learned how to do over a lot of years, that you're, learning how to be perfect or making it more perfect. But what you just know how to do, you don't even have to think about it, really. It's just already there. And so the pink section says, promises made to ourselves, reactions to trauma or environment. Sounds like a man-made hero to me. But then we hit the bullseye. It's that aqua color, your innate superpower and true identity. It says about age 5, a child's sense of self-esteem has already been established. And they know who they are. They know what they can do. Their parents typically know what they can do too. And so that's why I said in the last episode, or one of the last episodes, when you can train your kid on what you know they can do without thinking, because they weren't taught it. It came with them when they were born. If you can find a program or something to align with their lives and educational process, you can teach them extra stuff that they didn't know or they wouldn't know naturally. And they can combine what they do know with what you just had them go through, education. And so in that place, that like equals a higher degree of perfection or perfecting their super abilities. And they will always be better at it than anyone who studies it to learn it. They are already knowledgeable about it. Okay. Let's see. I got a few more slides to go through. I apologize for the time. So there's this superpower synthesis matrix where you start gathering information from the kid stuff to school days to architect of operational systems. And so it gives examples like kid stuff where you love organizing toys. And in school days, you were class treasurer. And then you become the architect of operational systems in your job. So this is how that works. You have something, and kid stuff on the second row, you have the kid is always asking why. Every kid does this. At some stage in their life, they want to know why. Why are you doing this? Why? What is it for? Why? How can I do it? Why do you do it so much? Why? And then when you get to university, you get psychology as your major. There's a whole bunch of whys, right? So then you mature into deep psychoanalyzing and empathy. So that might be your thing, or it might be something that you can do. Got it? All right, so then the last one says kid stuff is doodling in the margins. Like you're an artist. And you start making flyers for friends, parties over here, parties over there. And then you become a visionary designing world building. So you are a visionary. You start as a kid doodling in the margins of your work and end up as the chief board member of a project that you're architecting. And so your superpower isn't random. It is a recurring pattern woven through every stage of your life. Remember that. And go back and remember that. Remember what you were the best at. You always got chosen. You know, even if you didn't raise your hand, they would say, this is your jam. You're doing this. Okay? And so, you know, this is the way it works. What you're working on has always been, and you are excellent at it. And so then now you get to go into your reflection lab, nature and dreams. So what's the nature of your gifting? What have you been dreaming about for years? Think about that. Go back, write things down, and said, don't overthink. Don't overthink what this is. Ask your parents if they're still around. Ask people who have grown up with you. What did we used to do together? What did you notice about me that I always like to do? Do a survey on yourself, or ask someone who knows you very well to do a survey on you. Take a survey. Ask them, what have I always done without thinking? You want to know. These are the things that help you discover what your superpower is and how you probably can best use it as an adult now. So then our reflection lab 2 is the gap. It says, are you currently participating in any of the things you just listed? If so, which ones? If not, why not? And then if money wasn't an issue and you couldn't fail, how would you spend your days? What would you do all day? How would you engage your superpower and imagine something to create or design? And I honestly have to say that in the last maybe 6 months, I've had time to go in and, along with AI, ask questions and create things along with AI, like side by side. AI, you're my partner. We're going to talk through something. We're going to create something. And so I have something in my mind that I want to do, and I think it could change. It could change people's lives, and I'm excited about it. So let's keep going. Then we have a reflection lab 3, the external audit. You are a beautifully made masterpiece, but sometimes you are too close to the canvas to see the art. Yeah, sometimes you need to back up a little bit and take a better look at it from all different angles. And then if you trust some people, bring them in and have them look too. So this is where we do the 360 questionnaire. Ask 5 people you trust: friends, family, co-workers, mentors. What are my greatest strengths? That's it. They will be able to dive in and look at you from their perspective and tell you what they've seen in your life over time. So then there's a caption here. It says, often the thing you do effortlessly, the thing you dismiss as easy, is the exact superpower the world is desperate for. And that makes sense? It does. You don't have to learn your gift. You know it because it was born inside of you. Right? So issuing your superpower ID. Identity must come before intelligence. Think about that. It's already you. You are who you are. And working through and learning who you are is the key element to beginning to understand how to use and apply your superpower intelligence. So consider all your clues. What is your superpower? Name it, claim it. It's yours. And then the protocol. How will you integrate this superpower into your life as a regular daily activity? So personally, I have been writing books and other things pretty much all my life. Been to school, had writing class. Writing class goes to somewhere else, and then go to college and you have writing. We repeated it every year. Every cycle had a language art class. And so when I went to college, I would read people's outlines or essays for them, and I would thank God for the education I had, because I was reading things that didn't make it wasn't good stuff. Like, I was like, subject verb agreement, easy things like that. I was like, you should have learned this in like 6th grade. Here we are in college. What are we doing here? And so as an adult, now I've written maybe 3 or 4 books. I've written other things for different organizations. And writing is not just an easy habit. It's one of my superpowers. I can't say it's my main superpower, but it is one of them. And if you read my work, there are things in what I've written that display me as a writer. And so I'm an author. I'm an encourager. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I think I said that before. But it says you have the power to be someone different. Will you exercise that power to become the best superhero you can be? I say yes. Born to Be Super was the first book I wrote. But I had written things like church programs and booklets and things for people to learn things. I'd written business documents to help teach people how to do things also, instructional guides and other types of things. And so who you are manifests out of the work you create. Because a lot of times I would do things like I'm doing now and give you examples of things I've written. And so writing and educating people through writing is one of the things I did. So here we are on the power up again. And I apologize for the time this took, but I feel like you need to know it. It's time. It says power up. It's not too late. Your power may be hidden under a heap of worries, fears, and routines, but it's waiting for your attention. The world is waiting for you. Let's go get it. Don't be stingy. Sharing is caring. People need your superpower. A lot of times they might not know that you're as super as you are. You might step onto a stage one day and you have the mic and people can't believe that is your voice. They've never heard it before because you never sing in public. You only use it whenever you're in the shower and it relaxes you while you're getting cleaned up. And so it's your time. So the excavation is complete. The mission begins now. Your homework is to grab your book, ask yourself or go through it where there's reflection parts. So it's like pause for reflection. And then it asks you a question. And you get to write down in the journal section the answers. So this is your personal book. Nobody else's book. Nobody else has to read your information. This is your book. And you need to go through, ask and answer the questions that are in this book for you to understand. And I would love to have a session where I go live and you tell me your answers and how I can help you develop even more, go a little deeper. Okay? So I bless you. Have a beautiful week. Thank you for liking this content. Thank you for recommending it to your friends who say, maybe I don't know why I'm here. I need you to help them know. Bring them to me. I'll ask them the questions. We'll get through it and have a good time doing it. Okay? So I bless you, and I apologize for not praying at the beginning of this call, but I'll pray at the end. Father, in the name of Jesus, thank you for this message on Superpower ID. I thank you that you have empowered us with powers and things that we've done since we were born, that No one had to teach us because you embedded it in the framework of our lives. So we give you praise and glory and thank you for helping us identify our superpowers. Give you praise for it now in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Have a great week. I love you. See you. Oh, next week we're covering chapter 3, and that is Superpower Boot Camp. Boot camp is always awesome. So talk to you soon. Have a brilliant weekend. Goodbye.